The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time to plant a tree is today. You see, a wise man once said that the marathon doesn't start when the weather conditions are perfect. The marathon starts when you take the first step. So the first thing that I want you to know is that action leads to confidence. Sometimes when you're waiting on the right time, you're waiting until you feel ready. But the thing is that action is what is going to build your confidence. Action is what is going to grow you and improve you and give you the skills, the belief, the mindset. Action does that. Because when you take action, you build evidence. Evidence that you can do it. Evidence that you can embark on that journey. Not evidence for somebody else to see, but evidence for you, for yourself, in your mind and in your heart. So just take action. Just take action. You don't have to have every step figured out, but just take that first step and you will see that you'll grow in your confidence. You'll grow in your belief. You'll grow in your understanding. But the first thing is to take that first step. Once again, a wise man once said, the marathon doesn't start when the weather conditions become perfect. The marathon starts when you take that first step. This is your sign to take that first step. If you're enjoying the video thus far, like, comment, subscribe, share this with somebody that you know needs to hear it. Number 2, you have to keep in mind that the process is more important than the outcome. You see, life is a journey. Your pursuit of your goal is a journey. And the analogy that I always like to repeat is that you have to crawl before you can walk. And you have to walk before you can run. We understand this when it comes to learning how to ride a bike. We understand this when it comes to a young toddler, a young infant, a young child learning how to walk. We understand you have to crawl before you can walk, walk before you can run. We understand that in order to learn how to ride a bike, you'll fall a couple times. You might have to have training wheels and things like that. But eventually, if you keep on working and focusing on the process, the outcome will happen for you. If you want to work on your physique, if you want to work on losing weight or gaining weight, focus on the process, not so much the outcome. Because you may work out and not see the result. You may work out and not get the outcome that you desire instantaneously. But are you going to stop? No. And the way that you will continue to keep pursuing is by not focusing so much on the outcome, but focusing on the process. When you focus on the process that leads to the outcome will take place for you in due time. Number 3, you have to understand how to develop your faith. And that faith in yourself, that faith in your abilities must be greater than the anxiety that you may feel. Now, what is faith? The way I would define faith is believing in the positive outcome. It's believing in the positive outcome. What generates anxiety? Believing in the negative outcome. Think about it. Some people become anxious before they're given a big speech. They become anxious before a big game. They become anxious before a big moment in their life, before a big exam. Why? Because whenever you are about to start something, there's a possibility that things could go well, but there's also a possibility that things may not go so well. Now, the choice of whether to believe in the positive outcome or to believe in the negative outcome is yours. But depending on the choice that you make, depending on your belief and what you choose to believe will determine if you have a spirit of faith or if you have a spirit of anxiety. When you have faith, when you believe in yourself, you anticipate the moment. You dream about it, you think about it, and you anticipate it. You can't wait till that moment comes because you know you are prepared. What is success? Success is when preparation meets opportunity. What if I told you the opportunity will come? Whether or not you're successful is whether or not you're prepared for the opportunity. Well, part of preparation is believing in yourself. is having faith. Think on the positive outcomes. Think on the good things, not the negative. When you say what if everything goes right? What if you do what it is that you set out to do? What if you can become the person you desire to become? Don't say what if and then list off negative things. You have to reject the limiting thoughts and the limiting beliefs so that you can be unlimited. Number 4, association. I say in pretty much most of my videos that birds of a feather flock together. You can't soar with the eagles if you're hanging with the chickens. Who you associate yourself with, who you spend time with, has an influence on your thoughts, has an influence on your actions. So if you're procrastinating, if you're not taking that first step, maybe you should consider, are the people around you playing a role in that? Are you surrounding yourself with ambitious individuals? Are you surrounding yourself with people who are confident, courageous? People with initiative? Or are you surrounding yourself with people who like to procrastinate? People who are lacking a strong work ethic, lacking self-confidence, lacking faith? If so, then their mindset, their ways, their thoughts can influence yours. So it's important that if you want to become a winner, if you want to continue to be a winner, to surround yourself with other individuals who have a winning mentality. Having a winning mentality doesn't prevent you ever from taking any losses. But having a winning mentality allows you to engage with those quote-unquote losses as really lessons that aid and fuel your growth and your progress and your development. Why? Because you have a winning mentality. Number 5, last and certainly not least, is that you don't want to have regret. And oftentimes, what I found in my life, from talking to other people, from my own experience, is that the pain of failure is not as bad as the regret of not even trying. The regret of not even attempting is much more painful, is much more negative than the pain of failure. So it's okay to try and to fail. Because once again, like I said, how do you learn how to ride a bike? You have to fall. Every batter that steps up to the plate to hit a home run, they may strike out. But that's part of the process. Why? Because you have to crawl before you can walk. You have to walk before you can run. Maybe before you hit your home run, you have to strike out a couple times. Maybe before you throw your first touchdown pass, you may throw some incomplete passes first. Maybe that outcome that you desire, it may be delayed, but it won't be denied if God is willing, if it's in God's will. So what's for you is already for you. Pray to God, and if it's in God's will for you, it'll be yours. But faith without works is what? Is dead. So you have to put in the work. You have to take that first step. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you would like to see next. Send this to someone that you know needs to hear it. And check out my channel for more.